Alright guys, I'm going to tell you right now that this video is not for older people, it's for younger people, it's for people, younger fellas coming into this world, but it could be equally applied to young ladies coming into this world. And this is going to be an old man talk to young people in general. These talks used to take place. If you're back in my day, your dad would be able to tell you exactly what I'm going to tell you. And if your dad had passed on or wasn't around for whatever reasoning, there was always a grandpa or an older uncle or just someone in the neighborhood that would reach out to you as a young person if you just had a single mom, or and not saying that a mother couldn't say these things as well, but in typical fashion, this video is to the younger boys, and we're going to talk about something, and I'm going to lead it off with logic and then tell you some things that apply to you every single day. What you're learning wrong in school, what you're not being taught, and so on and so forth. So this is probably going to be a long video, and let me tell you, if you're an older person, share this video. If you know you're 28-year-old, share this video, because if you're 28, you ain't heard this mess either, probably, more than likely, any of it. So first off, I'm going to give you a problem. This is the logical reasoning I'm applying by everything that I'm going to tell you. And most of you are going to get this wrong. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, and we'll go from there on to life's circumstances. So, do you guys see this? 1 divided by 0 equals what? Or 0 divided by 1 equals what? Chances are, I'm going to give you, and you can pause this video right here and try to answer this. But I'm telling you, if you do not, here is the only 100% correct logical answer to either of these problems here. You would need to erase the equal sign. Just erase the equal sign, and you would put is undefined. You would need to answer it correctly in English to have the correct verbiage, is, and you would need to have the correct answer, undefined. One might say, come up with ignorance and say, well, why not put 0 there? And I would reply to you, what does 0 stand for? And you would reply back to me, nothing. And it makes no difference where it's placed. If it's in the tens column in a big number, it's still 0. So you would, or in the hundreds place or column, you would say 0. And I'm telling you, logically, 0 means nothing. And nothing cannot be defined. You can't define nothing. Of course, you can look the word up, and it will give you a definition to nothing. However, if you've got want to define 0 cars into 1 car, you would be dividing by nothing, which you can't you can't determine the answer of what nothing would be, because it is nothing. So let's move on. Y'all can sit and argue about that all day long. When you get done arguing about it, or you get done playing it around in your head, come follow along with me using logic as a young person. All right. I'm going to talk about several things. Number one, I want to talk specifically to the younger guys. It seems like no one, I'm going to tell you, young fella or young lady, no one has a problem telling you that your mother can be a mama bear and she can raise you a good, strong man on her own, and that can be very typical. It's not typical, it's atypical. As a matter of fact, it's damn near impossible. And if it's just to the woman alone, a strong man won't be reared. In other words, other males will have to come in and influence as well. Maybe as sports stars, maybe as business leaders that the boy would want to emulate. But mom can't do that specifically by herself with a boy. Now, on the flip end, if a man has a little girl, everyone can see that man is going to have problems on his own raising that little girl with no female or woman input. See how you can logically look at that, but you can't logically look at the man, that the boy needs his father or strong male influences. Isn't that amazing? It's not logical at all. And I want you to know it's not logical. But you go up in the schoolhouse, the church house, the government house, and that's what you get. Mama can raise a boy all day long. It's no problem with it. More power to it. Let's give her a medal. Daddy's raising a little girl. Problems, problems, problems. He can't do that. No medals given out to him. No, oh yeah, that's typical. You can always do that. No, what you hear is, because we're led by feminine forces throughout, is, every little girl needs a woman. They need a mama. But you run into problems when you go on the man's side of that. Every little boy needs a man. This is why it's easy as a young fella to grow up to be a failure or a complete failure, and you don't want to do that. And you cannot achieve success unless you are seeing truth, and this world is not going to give it to you. Suggestion here, logical suggestion to you young fellas. If you have a dad but he doesn't live in the house, make it a point, if you have a cell phone or whatnot, if you have relations with him, and a suggestion to the dads to do the same thing with their boys. If you have cell phones, it's very easy, because no matter where you're at, call one another. If dad's useless and not calling you 4 or 5 times a day, before my father died, when I had just turned 11, he was a vice president of a big painting manufacturing company, and he was a vice president of sales for that huge company. We were in the Carolinas. The company was based out of Baltimore, Maryland, and he was all over the East Coast, from Maine down to the end of Florida, always traveling, a lot of traveling. That was the last job he had before he passed away. And I'd get 2 or 3 calls. We'd get out of school at 3 o'clock and get home by 3:30, and I'd get 2 or 3 calls after 3:30. He'd be on the highway, and pull over and stop. He didn't have cell phones back then. He'd pull over, stop, and call me. He'd call me from an airport. If he had a flight, such as going from New York, and it'd take about an hour and a half or so, going down to Miami. As soon as he'd land in Miami, if it was still wake time, it wasn't my bedtime, I'd be getting a call when he landed. So he was calling me more, out here working like a dog over a huge sales force, having to keep up with everything with everybody, constantly traveling all over the eastern seaboard. And some of you have dads in the next room when you get home from school. You're in your bedroom, thumbs are going. He's on the couch watching the History Channel or Discovery Bigfoot things and Pawn Stars or whatever, and he's going. And I've literally been in multiple houses where a kid will be in the bedroom and text mom or dad that are in the living room. And it's not a logical way to live. It's a logical way to live in that when you define that, it is very definable. You are going to have loser parents producing loser children. So if you're absent from your boy and you're a dad, be calling him. And I mean be calling him. Know what's going on during the day with the kid. Call him before he goes to sleep. Tell him you love him. Maybe say prayers over the phone if you are a believer, and so on and so forth. It's nonsense if you're a father and you don't have your kid in your life. If you are the kid, call your dad. How about that? Be laying on him. Hey, I want dad in the family. I want you in my life. I want you in my family. I want you around me. Here it is, school time, right out here, right outside my door, and all that yelling you just heard are delinquent kids, and they do not have their dads. I know them, and they don't. But they got a mama bear sitting up in the house, and she can do anything. Don't buy what this world's telling you, because it's not true. And I'm asking you to open your eyes and look around you and see the fruit of what is being produced by who, and you'll get it. So call your dad. Call him. Tell him, Dad, why ain't you calling me? What's up with you? Don't you care about me? Lay a guilt trip on his ass. Lay a guilt trip on his ass. He ain't doing his duties. He needs to be a guilty ass. And vice versa, you dads, lay a guilt trip on your boys' asses. Why in the hell ain't you doing this right, or doing that, or listening to your mama, or this thing over here, or that thing over there? And proceed to tell him, hey, the weekend or next time I see you, I'm going to bust your ass. And do your kid a favor, Dad, and bust his ass, and don't let it go. Oh, well, I don't get to see him. You don't get to see him, so therefore you're going to bail out on discipline and structure with him and just completely ruin his life because of your damn feelings? No, don't do that. Don't do that. I know what I often tell people, you can think about it, but don't do it. I tell people this all the time when they're in my presence, because there's certain things I don't allow in my presence. And I'm an old, beat down man, damn near 100 years old. I often tell folks I've outlived 3 vampires. I'm old. But I still command the presence around me. There ain't going to be tomfoolery or whatever you craziness up in around me. I don't care who you are, what culture you come from, what your color is, all irrelevant. Don't mean nothing to me, but you're gonna behave. You're not gonna drive me crazy. So, and you should be the same way. You cannot learn unless you have a calm environment. You cannot be good at sport or academia if you do not have a calm, settled, quiet environment. And that's a huge problem today. Nobody's demanding the calm environment. The calm houses you go into, it's a bunch of thumb work on games or texting or social media or other things, while life itself is being pushed away and people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, next bit of advice applies to everybody, every color, every walk of life. And keep in mind, mainly I'm speaking of U.S. children, but you could be anywhere in the world this could apply to you, young fellas. If you are having a problem with another kid, this one, that one, the other, and it's not of the utmost of seriousness, try to de-escalate it, take care of it, and handle it on your own, young fella. Number one, this will give you the tools you need to develop into a strong, functioning, problem-solving man. And guess what? If you can't take care of and problem solve, which entails steering clear of problems. I'll give you an example. A lot of people in the boxing community look up to Tank Davis. Tank Davis is not a man. He was reared by an effeminate woman. He is effeminate, and his life is a wreck. He has no self-control. He is a woman beater. He's not a man. I can't logically define him for you, but I can logically 100% scientifically tell you he is not a man, in that he's got a backbone, he can solve problems and things of that nature. If you believe he is, you've already got a problem. So problem solve on your own. And what this can do for you is a risk I'm going to give to you. If you pick the phone up, if your mama picks the phone up, if your daddy picks the phone up, and you call the cops, you run the risk every single time of getting put off this planet. I'm trying to be careful with those words there. They will take a life in a second. It's their lives that are important, not yours. Let me tell you this again. Every time you, and I'll broaden it, I'll broaden what I'm going to say. Every time you come in contact with a cop, your risk of loss of life is doubled, tripled, quadrupled, or more. Any contact you have with them, because you don't know what they're going to do, because their job is to protect their life, not your life. And the sooner you can drill that into your system, and you sear it in your heart and your thought processes, the better off you're going to be. You want to be away from them. You never want to do anything that you believe is going to cause them to come in your circle. You don't want them there. Which leads to the next thing in this world today. Unless you're up there at the tennis and golfing club, or sitting inside a church, I suppose, where there is more than three, your dumb ass shall not be. And you need to say, where there is more than three, I shall not be. You don't want to be around a group of people, especially if you're a young black guy. I don't know what would possess you to, well, I do. It would be a weak mother that is raising you. That's what's wrong with the boxing community today. They used to have strong mothers and fathers. Now they got fathers that are never around and weak, typically fat because they eat and self-indulge, make stuff up in their heads that is the reality when it's not, totally out of control emotionally, possess no logical reasoning. So don't listen to them if your mom's like that, irrespective of her color. But especially as a young black person, what would logically get in your brain that these are my people, I want to go over there and hang around with them, when maybe in the area, see, because there's a lot of variables that go on, but maybe in your area you're 10 times more likely to get shot and unlifed if you're hanging around 5 or more of them at an event, at the mall, at this, at that. Put your head together. Well, how could that happen? How'd that be done could happen? You know, how that could very easily happen is one of the people you're hanging around with has a beef with these other guys and they come to shoot. Because on the whole, black teens are not men. They're not even getting close to the lane of becoming a man. They'll go, Rocky, they'll shoot somebody, they'll drive by, but they're not going to get out and put these up. They'll pull a knife. They'll do all sorts of things. They act tough, but that's a feminine characteristic as well. And they act tough, got big mouths, and you don't want to be around it. You know, it's just too dangerous. You know, second group of people I'd probably say would be probably white people. No, you don't want to go over there, and if you're white, you don't want to hang around with a bunch of whites. But you damn sure don't want to hang around with a bunch of blacks. It's just a probability statistical that can be logically, statistically, mathematically proven. It's more dangerous to be around black people than it is to be around any other race of people in the U.S. I'm talking in terms of the U.S. here. Well, you're racist. No, I'm telling you a fundamental truth. And your crazy, out of control food stamp mama would be thanking me a million times and wouldn't think anything I said was racist if it kept you from getting stabbed or shot or something like that. If you went back and told her, well, this old man said this, it sounded bad, but it saved my life, mama, she'd be like, you keep listening to that old man. Because it's not about, it's about what group is doing what in a particular generation. See? And when you get through it, leave the other generations behind. Don't stand there blaming the white person next to you if you're a black kid. It's all his fault because something that happened in generations back. And a white kid should not be doing that to black kids if it's something that happened generations back or whatever. And a lot of bad things happened. I'll give you an example. Back in the early 1900s, there was a rash criminal activity going around of black men setting hospitals and old folks' homes on fire. And they'd do them whether they black, white, green, gold, or yellow, but they were doing it to white nursing homes and hospitals, convalescent hospitals and things, more than they were their own. I'm not going to sit and blame you for that. What the hell? Use some logic here. So, and I'm going, a little bit on this race, a little bit on this one, a little bit on that one. If you're Latino, maybe you come up in a house, you don't have dad around, mama's on her knees, up in the middle of the night, won't give you no peace that you can sleep. She's up chanting and praying and head bobbing and, the things they do. I don't know why she would get up in the middle of witch's hour, so be up at 3 o'clock when you really should be asleep and have already prayed for protection against those things at night before you go to sleep. But they do these things. Stay away from drugs, drug dealers, drug people. You, even to the boxing community, you stay away from violence, violent people, people that can't control their emotions, and stay away, do the things where you stay away from bad people, whatever they do, get around good people. So if you surround yourself with good people, good things will be around you. If you surround yourself with bad people, bad things will be around you. But for God's sakes, whatever you do, become a problem solver with concerns to altercations as best you can. And no matter what you do, should you ever call the cops. And you should be telling everybody around you, and this doesn't make no difference what color you are. You're a little white guy over here, and I'll give you an example. You're a little white kid over here, and this black kid over here has bullied you, and you're down at the park. Don't call the cops. Stand up to that. If you're a little black kid and a white kid's over there, and he's bullying you, and you in the park, don't call the cops. Defuse it and handle it. Try to work it, because you call the cops, it's going to be escalated. Boom, right up. And could be escalated. I can't tell you how many times in America I'd like to see the statistics on this, but police go right to the victim and unalive the victim. And then they're standing around, I didn't know. And it's important to note, young people, do you know who your police are in the U.S.? Do you know what stock they predominantly come from? No matter their color? These people are predominantly stock that patrol your streets that have come back from Iran, Afghanistan, Libya, other places, and have come back damaged with post-traumatic stress disorder. In other words, they're nuts. Let's just be honest about that. War will break a man and make him fucking crazy. And you need to be aware of that. Ain't no way to put candy on that. We need to be saying stop doing this war crap and be honest about those that come back. But the last place you'd ever want to put anybody coming back effed up from war, and psychology and all that is a sham, a charlatan sham. It's not real. It's just based on what they think at the moment and the generation that they're in. There's no real concrete science or logical, provable things with psychology. But what I would do, and most of these people they're messed up themselves. I haven't seen one person, and I'm as old as salt, that ever studied to be a psychology or a psychiatrist, that came from a good family where home life was very good and very emotionally healthy for them that wanted to go get into these fields. It's always the messed up ones that want to get into these fields. So try to stay away from them as well. And but your police force is stockpiled, and the stockpile it draws from are men and women that come back from war all messed up, and then they're put on the streets to so-called protect and serve you. Yet their policies are protect themselves at the civilian cost out there. Go look their policies up. They'll kill they'll unalive 10 people in a second in a crowd, and use the policy they got of officer safety to do it, and have complete disregard for anybody else. They'll get in a car, they'll know the person, and because they don't have a license on them, they'll get an 150 mile an hour police chase with them, and unalive 12 people or whatever, tear up property all over town just to give somebody a damn ticket. Now the runner's at blame for that, but the moral authority over the runner is quite more blame to go to them. The other thing I want to tell you, in this world today, all you're going to hear is, I've got mental problems. I suffer from mental illness. I got depression. You know what? I got anxiety. You know what? That's been going on since Eve took the first bite on that apple. How everybody wants to be a victim today. Everybody's a victim. I mean, even me. At least some real things have happened to me, but I sat down here with the padre at the church telling him, you know what, I need to let a lot of these things go. He told me right where to go to get down on my hands and knees, a beautiful little place, and let it go at the cross. And he wasn't justifying how I felt because I was wrong. And not only was I wrong, my son was wrong in major ways. But I'm adult enough and logical enough and love Christ enough that I want to forgive these people and move forward. And I hope my son does too, and moves forward. And I always tell my son, if you're harboring all this, has got this anger in it, work it out in the sport. Work it out in the academics. In other words, hit that, use that anger to motivate and push you forward and get you across that finish line. But see, I'm old. I don't have the ring or academia to be able to pull me across. And as every day goes by, as a day closer to having a coming to Jesus meeting, and that worries me. And it should worry you. And if you're one of those, it's another thing I'm going to warn young people about. You in churches and, oh, I'm fine, I got my salvation, I don't worry about a thing. People that are telling you they're not worried, and they're not on top of it, and they ain't thinking about what they're doing, and don't have enough love for Him whom they claim has given their salvation to do better. You're in the wrong place. If you're in a church that more than a couple of % of the time are sitting there and politically going, blah, 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 you need to get out. You need to get your mama out. You need to tell your daddy, get your daddy out. If you can get out of it, don't go. Same with the church where they're sitting up there, love, 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 love. They have no idea that Christ is a soldier. That's how He's going to be coming back. The blood of those whom He's going to wipe out is going to reach the bridle. That's the chin of a horse. a big horse, big white horse. See, you know, they don't want to look at that Jesus. They don't want to teach that Jesus. In school, block out every single social issue they bring up to you. Block it out. As far as slavery goes, you get it, you learn it. It's a piece of history. You're not enslaved today. Let that go. You don't want to be carrying that as a white person or a black person or a Spanish person or a Muslim person. Point out truths in that. If you got somebody coming up to you and they're, oh, it's your fault, I would remind them, no, it's the Muslims' faults. If your ancestors were enslaved black people, they were enslaved first by Muslims who conquered North and Eastern African, who were in mass conversions to Christianity at the time. And when Muhammad came in with the armies, took it all over, forced your ancestors to convert to Islam, and then enslaved your ancestors, and then sold your ancestors to other races. And furthermore, Middle Eastern Islam people enslaved more of your people than a white man would ever have time to think about enslaving. So if you're white, don't fall into anything that would turn you on black people as well. Don't do it. Set and base people off of how they're acting. If the group over there is a group of Chinese people and they're acting fools and stealing from the corner store or drugs or dope, whatever it is, don't hang around with those Chinese people. You're xenophobic, you're anti-Chinese. No, I don't mean you're that or nothing. You don't want to be in trouble. If I'm sitting here, older than damn salt, and I live over here in the White Hood or the up here with this trailer park trash, and they're drunk and selling dope and doing all this and cutting each other, I ain't gonna go outside and hang out with them. I don't like them. They're not my brothers. I don't care that they're white. They're not my brothers. Never will be. And if one side of the place has black people and they're acting good and not drinking, raising hell, dope, and drive-bys and everything else, you know where my old white ass is going to be hanging? You better guarantee it, I'm going to be over there with the black people. It's as simple as that. I'm going to try to hang around good people, and you should too. And where there's more than three, why you a teenager wet behind the ears, you shouldn't be. You should not be. And just be careful what they teach you in these schools. I'm going to give you a U.S. history lesson right quick here, young people. This is a good U.S. history lesson. Everything culminated up to a shot heard around the world. And we fought for freedom and we won. Now, let's get real here. We did fight a war. We did win it. It's probably the last war we ever won as U.S. people. And we really didn't win that. I'm fixing to tell you why. What they don't teach you is right after the war, George Washington, what they could all agree on, Hamilton, Washington, Jefferson, Franklin. It's funny. They could all come down and be in agreement on, we're seizing the whiskey market, and if anybody brews their own liquor, we're going to get you. And immediately after and following the Revolutionary War to free us all, George Washington sent his army down through the Appalachians and the Carolinas and into Georgia, killing newly created U.S. citizens for brewing liquor. And who got all the patents and all the power and were the sole people that could brew the liquor, the whiskeys, and sell it out to everybody? Them. So, it's funny, we start a war that's basically off of we don't want to pay such high taxes, and then immediately they see certain markets after we win the war, this good group of Washington and Jefferson and Franklin and all these people, and they start seizing corporation. We had crony capitalism from day one, folks. It's still going on today. So that happened. That's real history. I ain't lying to you. Go look it up. And I'm not telling you to hate your country. If you're going to fight a war, the only war you need to be fighting is like not getting up and going over there to the Middle East no more, not going anywhere, Vietnam, nowhere, to fight your politicians' wars, those dirty, rotten, scoundrel dogs. Damn to hell, such an ignorant, illogical, demonically possessed person that would send their kids off to fight a war for the dirtiest group known to man when they sat back and really talked honest in their own head or to somebody else, that these dirty, rotten politicians are the worst people in the world. Why would you send somebody to fight for them? I'll tell you when to fight. When somebody is messing with your brothers and your sister. And your brothers and your sisters come in all shapes and sizes and all sorts of colors. Typically in the U.S., they're fat now. And you all fat because they're these politicians that you go join the service for to go over here and fight a war for have put the same politicians that you just go over there and die for, and mom and dad will tell you to go do it too, depending upon whose party is in office at the time. Will tell you to go on over there and die, or poisoning your food and killing you slowly. We haven't, I was talking to Joe last night, and we were talking about the North really didn't win the Civil War. There were no winners in this thing. Look at what's going on with black people today. And we're not looking at them like they're bad people or anything. They are victims. They are being raised by fat women whom can't, and it's the majority of them, let's quit lying, over here in blocks of neighborhoods, and they are pulling down cities to where they're not drugstores and food and things they got to have to live are moving away from them. So don't tell me the North won the war, and it really wasn't over slavery anyway. If any group of people is getting battered while they're handing your money out to them, they're battering black people by allowing them to just keep being brainwashed to hell itself and dragging their children with it. And white people and black people that are working their asses off are being forced to hand them money to pay for them to slowly kill themselves and drag themselves and their children to hell. And this might be too late for the black community. I see an enlightenment going on now, and I hope it takes hold. I see a lot of my black brothers and sisters, they're putting up very truthful and valuable information on their own community, and they want the world to know about it. They don't care about your color. They're like, we got to fix this. This is insanity, and we got to fix it. So, the standards, try to do good in school. Just give it the old college try. Just give it the old hood try. Just give it the old trailer park try. Just give effort to it. In your sports, realize no matter what sport you're getting into, 0.01% of you may make it out of whatever you're in. So be educating yourself while you're sporting it. And if you're the greatest sports guy around you, maybe you're the best baseball, basketball, football player, boxer, wherever you're at, your ass needs to be careful, because you look, all you gotta do is logically look around and you see all these people. How did this guy make $550 million? How did this other guy make $1.2 billion? And he's broke in 8 years. Has no money, and for all intents and purposes is homeless, going from house to house, sleeping on people's couches. And it's not a good place to be. You don't want to be there. I have. You don't want to be there. So those are just a few things that I wanted to talk to you about. If you are over here and you're a Democrat, and maybe you're a young person and you lean to that, or maybe you've turned 18, you've joined the party, you're registered on the Democrat side of the ticket, clean your shit up. Clean yourself up. I happen to be on the other side. Me and Joe talked about this last night too. My white ass is going to be sitting down there at the county GOP Republican meetings, and I'm going to be stressing every time with them, just shut up. And they're going to be, oh, what? We can't believe we tried to get you to run for governor of the state. The whole state came together to try to get your dumb ass to run for governor. Yeah, they did. They did. I used to be a vice chair. But I ain't going to do that shit no more. I'm going to go back and I'm going to speak and I'm going to truth tell. It's just it. And if they're offended, I'm going to tell them, be offended. Be offended. You are offenseful. You are offended. You are an offense to decent people. But I'm going to go down and tell the truth. This shit, jumping on bandwagons for war, loving a group of people that you know, if you ever say who they are, you'll get in trouble. You should all know who I'm talking about. Acting like Christian values or that group's values, and it's not. And a country of 10 or 11 million people, so they is dragging 350 million, a country with 350 million people down the drain. Nah, I don't want to do it. They've dragged Europe down the drain. So be careful what you hear. Go verify what you hear. Look at both sides and study it fervently before you stand up and start wagging your mouth to everybody else. It's nothing more stupid than a young man or an old man that's sitting there blabbing something that they can't back up what they're blabbing to another human being or a group of other human beings, and can't back up with logical fact anything they're saying. So, and don't listen to nobody that's not doing that. Just don't do it. Just be careful out there. This is, the world is continually getting more evil. So as each generation goes, old people were telling me back when I was 12, 15, 18, well, I feel bad for you growing up in this mess. Because they had better times, and the generation before them had better times. And it didn't make a difference of your color. I hear this, oh, you want to go back in time, you want to go to slave days. Don't buy into that, black people. Don't buy into that, white people. I'll have you know, in the 50s and the 60s, black people were doing damn well. There was more black-owned businesses. Blacks were making things and employing other blacks to make these things and selling them to other black people and other races of people. And now It's more of a consuming nature. They're not building. They're not uh, uh, producing fruits. They're producing fruits, but it's beginning to be predominantly bad fruits. And all our heroes up in this house are the black boxers, the black champions. They're the most of our heroes. Ain't gonna be no champions no more, not from the black folks. And eventually the NBA's gonna be gone, and they'll be out of baseball and everything else. Not out of it, but not the stars of it, of anything anymore. And there's reasons behind that, but I don't dare tell you the truth. I would tell you to go look up this man called Jimmy the Greek, who was the big NFL Today guy on CBS, and look at what happened to him because he was interviewed in a restaurant and told that God's honest truth of why black athletes in the U.S. were so supreme and so great back in the day, back in his day, back in my day. And he gave the honest truth, and he got fired for it. But it doesn't negate that what he said was the truth. Now look at who is getting together and having babies. The unhealthy and the unhealthy, the fat and the fat and the ridiculously skinny. But ain't nobody trying to build no big, strong, muscular athleticism going on. I'll tell you that right now. They're just out here plugging babies into women and walking off and not holding no responsibility. Anyway, that's my video for today. It's some rambling that I wanted to give out. You got to start opening up and logically looking at this world and situation for situation of what it actually is. I'll bring up another thing to you. All right, this is going to offend a lot of people. It's okay, but it's the truth. In North America, Indians are coming out, they're beating on the thing. Y'all took our land, you got all our stuff, everything. There's truisms to that. I'm not candy coating nothing, but I want to enlighten you on this. Many reservations where these people live, they got their own government, tribal governments. They allow gambling to come in. Millions upon millions upon millions of dollars are made on Indian reservation casinos, at their casinos. Then on top of that, the government coffers, everybody keeps handing money through their hard work to the reservations. You know, the rest of the countries, both blacks and whites, are forced through work to hand money over to them. And go look on these things and look at what you got. I'm one with nature. And the tears coming out because the white and black kids are throwing McDonald's wrappers on the highway. No. And that was when I was a young fella. Everywhere they've went, everywhere they are, is filthy. It's dirty and it's filthy. Go look for yourself. The big casinos they got out front may be okay. And that's the damnedest thing. They come out because they're misled on the reservations. The Indians actually own the casinos, and you got maybe 10 of them on the reservation that are millionaires off the casino, or casinos, plural, maybe, that are on the reservation. And now I'm not speaking everywhere, but what I am saying is typical. It is typical, it's normal. And upwards, I was looking at estimates, $5 million a year is going in to reservations for each person. And they've got their own people sitting over there, living in filth, not enough food, drunkenness, drugs, everything else known to man. Sloppy, good-for-nothing schools. Why? So you can't buy stupid away. You can't take that away. And a lot of black communities, the same thing's going on there. And countrywide, look at what we whites are doing. You've got all these tech millionaires, all these millionaires here, millionaires, billionaires. What the hell am I talking about? Multi-billionaires worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. And then you got everybody else floating around down here. And I say this as someone who believes that the only good communist is a communist 6 foot in the ground. Because they're worse. But I don't like this cronyism that's going on everywhere around you. But you need to resign your fact that at school you go to, it ain't the black people over there that have took all your stuff. It's not all the black people over there that have took all your stuff. It's not all the Spanish people over there that have took all your stuff. Start looking upstairs. And again, and I don't give a damn if your ass is a cop, but you come on here, you need to tell the fucking truth. You get around me, I don't give a damn whether you got your uniform on or whether you don't. I'll hold your ass to account for your mouth. You may put me in jail. Legal payback is pure hell. And I never quit, never stop. And you policemen need to be honest with these young kids and tell them what I just told them. Every damn time you people get called around them, there's no telling. It gets so much more unsafe, it ain't funny. You can't trust these cops no more, folks. You can't trust them. If there's a government takeover, well, we're already took over, but if there's a government come down on the people, these police will go right out and shoot you right in your face and your little sister too, and irrespective of who you are, what walk of life, what color, what's going on with you, and they'll do it in the name of policy. Because they don't give a damn about no Constitution. And to be frank with you all, the Constitution has rarely, if at all, even been applied in the 249 years of the history, or 250 years now, of the history of the United States. So quit loving this, quit loving that, start loving each other, looking out for yourselves. Hold yourself personally accountable for the bullshit you do, and fight like hell moving forward to have a good, productive, safe life.